How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, many people are asking throughout America why Amber Guyger has not been fired. There's been many questions asked because we already know, it ain't even it seems, we already know she's getting the Becky treatment. And it is making the police chief, Renee Hall, look like she has absolutely no power, which we already know. We already know that in this system, they put faces that look like you and I to give us the illusion that they are being transparent. And now all of a sudden, convenient amnesia kicks in. Nobody knows how to interpret the law. So I have two short videos, and we will hear what others have to say about it, which is quite interesting.
Commented about the ongoing tensions in the city of Dallas over the death of Botham Jean. An off-duty, as we know, uniformed Dallas police officer did shoot and kill John 2 weeks ago tonight.
A goal that all of us must have is to ensure that we de-escalate any type of tension. And one way to de-escalate tension is by being more transparent.
And that transparency is exactly why DPD Chief Renee Hall explained this afternoon why she has not taken any action against the officer, Amber Guyger. Guyger has admitted killing Botham Jean after mistaking his apartment for her own, she says. Many people called for the DPD officer to be fired right away. In a statement that was released today, Hall says, quote, as an employer, DPD can compel Officer Guyger to provide a statement during a DPD administrative investigation, and those statements given to DPD could potentially compromise the criminal investigation. She goes on to say, this is not a risk I am willing to take. Also, the chief says today that once they are certain that the administrative investigation does not impede the criminal side, she says she will proceed with any administrative or employment action against Guyger.
So, I don't want this to pop up. So basically, it makes me go back to what retired Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey said, that she's disappointed. She did say that. She said that yesterday in the chief of police, and she's looking at her sideways. But she said something early on that basically what she's saying is that these chief of police have to answer. I'm going to call it the shadow government, like I talk about Trump. I have mentioned that before. And there is a delay, or what I would also say, as I'm thinking, the business decision and how far they want to invest in this lying bitch. And it makes Chief Hall look very inadequate and weak amongst the royal family. Now, we already know again and again, when they put these puppets up in our face, I'm glad this is happening this way too, because it should teach them that, yeah, you sit up there with your chest all puffed up and use your big fancy words, but when it's time to deal with some core issues that may affect white supremacy, because you're there to uphold it, that is your duty and responsibility. And they're going to tell you how you're going to uphold white supremacy. So, let's listen to the next video that's going to be quite interesting.
No great kid for high school juniors.
Let's take that down so we don't have to listen to that commercial. Excuse me for that. I thought I had it all together. That happens every once in a while. Let's see what we got here. Let's go back. See if we can get this right. Oh, here we go.
All right, in the past hour, we received a statement from the Dallas Police Chief, Renee Hall, about why she has not fired Officer Geiger. She said, as an employer, DPD can compel Officer Geiger to provide a statement during a DPD administrative investigation, and those statements given to DPD could potentially compromise the criminal investigation. That is not a risk I am willing to take. Now, this statement raises several questions about that investigation. So joining me to help us sort out all of this is attorney Pete Schulte. So Pete, can an officer's statements made to the department be used in a criminal case?
Absolutely not. We call this, it was called the Garrity v. New Jersey Supreme Court case. It says anytime somebody's statement at a police department, any other governmental entity that's compelled, it cannot be used in a criminal investigation. When I read Chief Hall's statement today, it just doesn't make much sense to me. I don't know if it's ignorance or it's being naive, but it doesn't make any sense legally.
Well, I'm also curious, so there's also this an investigation going on in terms of her being an employee. Can those be used by this separate investigation?
No, and that's why even if DPD still had been handling the criminal investigation, they have two separate units. They have the Internal Affairs Division and they have what we call SIU, which is a Special Investigations Unit. They do not communicate. So now that the Rangers have it, anything that the DPD Internal Affairs Division does cannot and will not be turned over to the Texas Rangers. So I don't understand this statement. They should have started an internal affairs investigation. They haven't, and that's asking me, or making me ask a lot of questions if Chief Hall really knows what's going on.
Yeah, I'm curious because if memory serves me correct, there have been cases in which I believe officers have been dismissed, even under this kind of time frame.
Absolutely, John. I'll tell you, every citizen is innocent until if proven guilty in court, and I understand that. But this has been a lot of backlash from the community. There's been a lot of protests. There's no issue with Chief Hall saying, you know what, you're going to be terminated. You have your rights under civil service state law to appeal your termination and to go through the government code and try to get your job back. But for right now, for the best of the department, it's time to part ways, and that's what I'm waiting on. I would have expected it. It should have probably already had happened already.
All right, Pete Schulte, not only an attorney, he's also been a police officer. We do appreciate you
Absolutely.
joining us today. We will.
All right, that was excellent. Now, he spoke, had an attorney to speak. Also, at one time prior, was a police officer. See what I was saying, my royal family? It ain't always about money. It's how the Dallas police force, the reflection of having that murderer hang on. So, Chief Renee Hall, you a puppet. You have no power. You do as white supremacy tells you to do. Because they going to uphold Becky, or they may make her the sacrificial lamb. Now, I went out on a limb and said, eventually I think they will. But I could be wrong. But it is sad that you have to tuck your ass and stand before America and basically say, I have to do what white daddy tell me to do. It's really sad. And that we got numerous, unquote, black folks in leadership positions. Because in this particular case, the DA is black, sister. And you seen that dog and pony show. You seen that. And so then they're saying that, well, we don't want to compromise anything. Everything has been compromised. The bitch was able to scrub down there most of her social media, or you say, not media, digital footprints, so she won't look like a racist, but she was able to get caught on that. We already know what she is. It's already been compromised that she was able to move out of her place, and then the Rangers let everybody know there is no reason to even search her apartment. So you already see the direction that they are going, and they have not showed any respect to the citizens or the taxpayers in the state of Texas, who they work for, not one conference. It'd be real interesting to see who she really answered to, or the group that she answered to. That's why I don't like these unquote positions. So, my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful, divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.